Welcome to the Stephen McLean Show and the Finance Leader Podcast. I am your host, Stephen McLean. This is the podcast for developing leaders in finance and accounting. My desire for this forum is to be the place for finance and accounting professionals to grow your leadership, because you are working in a very complex world with very tight deadlines, and you're probably dealing with a crazy monthly close process. And we're going to be discussing how we can work our way through those kind of things. You're probably using a lot of older accounting and finance systems that really don't meet the current needs of the business. And we're going to start building a community right here on this podcast and across my platform where we can start looking at how we can make those improvements. We're going to start looking at ourselves. We're going to start improving what we can do within our own leadership skills, our soft skills, on how we can make improvements to our team and improvements to the department that we're in, whether it be on the finance side, accounting side, the auditing side, and we can start to, as we start to grow, we're going to start to set ourselves apart using strong leadership skills. We're going to start getting that recognition from senior leadership that we can bring better ideas, new ideas, and that we can help grow that business, either it be growing a new line of business, or we can find ways within the P&L statement that we can find ways we can save money. And we're going to start doing that. We're going to get out of that management role of just doing task accomplishments every day, and we're going to start bringing up new things. We're going to start empowering our team. Now, I understand your challenges and struggles. I've been there. I've dealt with monthly close, and I've dealt with tight deadlines. You're doing your best with the accounting systems, the finance systems that you're working with, but your models are probably outdated, and you're probably up against a lot of pressure with deadlines. I have seen accounting and finance teams spend days chasing small variances and how to explain what happened. So I understand that. I understand having to deal with senior leaders who want to know answers, and you're trying to chase probably a monthly close process that probably tends to be a little circular, probably has a lack of communication, and really a lack of a good set of written down processes that'll make it a lot easier. So I know I've been there. And you're also probably trying to, balance out accounts or calculate projections, with old models or wrong assumptions. I've seen plenty of those in my time between working in the, previously working in my previous career as a U.S. Army finance officer, and also with my role in consulting with a variety of companies across different industries. I know that your team probably spends an unbelievable amount of time, cutting and pasting reports instead of doing, real accounting or finance work. And we're going to change that. We're going to make some changes. I want you to be able to, change your mindset so that we can get out of those old processes. We can start to make some changes. We can start to make some recommendations, get this whole process on paper and figure out how we can make this a lot better for our team. We can get our team prepared and get their processes a little bit improved. Then it gets us out of that everyday task management, and then we can get more into the leading and getting better ideas and influencing, working with our senior leadership to make the business and organization a lot better. So this forum is not going to be a highly technical discussion, but it's going to be what you're facing and challenging every day, those tips and tricks and strategies around improving your leadership skills. And we're going to talk about that on this forum. I want to be able to help you in growing your influence in your organization, and how you can also improve your potential for advancement in your career. I want you to be able to influence better processes, better systems, better ways to communicate, better meetings, better ways to make everything better in your department, and then that will eventually get that recognition from that senior leadership that we're going to help us in our career. So with my platform, I want to be able to work with you again on those strategies to be able to help you build your potential for advancement beyond that, leading that team that you're doing right now. I see you as being able to grow, into that into that next level, that that senior manager, and on to that next level, director level or vice president level, vice president of financial planning and analysis, or you're on the accounting side as a controller, and any of those kind of that same line on the task org chart, that VP director level. And then also we want to be able to move beyond that into the CFO and eventually CEO. Now that's going to require you to get beyond just the technical. This is why this platform and this forum is going to be important for you, because we want to be able to emphasize and grow those soft skills, but also be able to focus you on leading and looking towards the future, bringing out the best ideas, because that's how you're going to be able to get advanced. And I have some beliefs and I have some experience in the things that I've seen, what I think works and what doesn't. We're going to talk about a lot of those things. I don't think being an extreme technical expert is going to just get you into that CFO level. I think you're going to have to improve all those skills. Yes, you're going to have to be smart on projections, and you're going to have to know the proper ways to how accounting is done, so that you can lead in best judgment as those departments are going to be fulfilling those roles. But I really think that, overall, it's going to be a pathway of a combination of the technical and the art of knowing the business well, and then being able to really speak and tell that story around the profit and loss statement. It's going to involve you, really getting to know the business well, understanding how strategy works, understanding how to develop relationships across the team, across the entire company, to be able to bring the right people together so that you can form and develop a great strategy. And it's going to get out of that. You got to get out of that mindset, of that daily manager mindset. Hey, I've got 3 tasks today and my team's got to get them done. Yes, we need to get those tasks done, but I need you to get that team to take more responsibility for that, so you can start looking at beyond those 3 or 4 tasks that you have for this week. So again, in this forum, we're gonna do this together. We're gonna grow our leadership. We're gonna support each other. We're gonna look at how to grow the business and how to bring new ideas and build our relationship. So I'm Stephen McLean. I am a retired U.S. Army finance officer, serving over 21 years on active duty and a couple years in the reserves. I worked resource management, budgets, and auditing, and a variety of other finance support roles for the U.S. Army, culminating in my career working for the U.S. Army staff at the Pentagon and working on the development of the U.S. Army's budget cycles before I retired. So on this, on this first episode, we're talking about what's the importance of this forum is going to be, but we're also going to talk about a couple things. And so to help you kind of take away a couple of things you can get a couple of easy wins and start thinking about your own leadership. So we're going to talk about the office environment, about how super competitive it is. We're going to talk about why improving your leadership is going to be so important, and why you should be investing in yourself. And we're also going to combine all that in knowing that leadership can be your defining characteristic. It can be your brand and your advantage, that you can get that attention and recognition from senior leadership. You're more than just the everyday manager. You can bring some great ideas, and you can really help grow this business, help them, especially the executive team, get in front of them, and you can help them grow the business, and then they're going to want you on their team. They're going to want you closer and want you to bring more ideas, and it's going to be just a fantastic way to launch off your career. All right, we're going to be talking about how competitive the office environment is nowadays. You're dealing with tough deadlines. You're dealing with senior leaders that are being pulled in many directions, and you're dealing with ineffective meetings and too many meetings. And so continue to be you yourself competitive in this situation. I need you to be engaging with those senior leaders. If you're in the accounting department, you need to be engaging with that controller. If you're in the financial planning and analysis, that vice president, just engaging and talking and bringing ideas and being real supportive, and that comes up with the same thing. If you're as a manager or a manager, hopefully in the future, One of the things that will again set you apart is that how you show your support for your direct boss. Whether you've got to understand what her priorities are and what she's dealing with every day, so that you can provide that support and those missing pieces of information, or that missing analysis, or that or something that that requirement that she's working on from the CFO. And that's what I would just encourage you to do, is that whenever your boss needs something, don't look at it as another task. Look at it as an opportunity to be able to show support for her, because she's going to turn around and say, hey, this person that my manager, being able to provide that quick information, and that made me look good in front of my boss. So that will be remembered down the road. And that comes with that. To be supportive, you want to have that great attitude, don't let things bother you, be real positive coming into the office, and have that strong mindset. Hey, I'm going to do the best I can for the business today. I'm going to help grow it, and I'm going to accomplish my tasks, and I'm going to seek out ways that I can bridge people together, and I'm going to bring that great positive energy into the office every day, as best you can. Again, in this office environment, want you to have that strong mix of soft skills, leadership skills, technical skills. And as you rise in responsibility, you need to be looking at all those. And some of those soft skills, and we'll talk about those in a later episode, but communication, clear communication will win the day for you, so that your team is real clear on what they need to do, and your boss understands the first time what you're trying to do to help her. And then bringing that confidence. There's a confidence to know that you know your tasks, and you know what's going on with your team, and you know what's going on in the department, and you know what's going on in the company, and you're strong in what you bring every day. That's going to be a game changer for you, because not a lot of people have confidence in their ability to stand up in front of people, or being able to breathe with a couple of people and kind of bridge them and resolve conflict. So again, mindset, confidence, all that's going to set you apart. Time management, knowing what's on your calendar, knowing how to properly say yes or no to the meetings that maybe you get pulled into, and having that confidence, no, I don't need to go to that meeting. It's not going to add any value. Or maybe I need to send somebody else, and I can look at another requirement that I can be supportive to the business. Being able to manage your time properly, saying yes and no to the right things, and prioritizing that tasks, helping your team prioritize, and helping them get away from distractions, so they focus on the most important things for the day. Relationship building. Again, it goes back to what I've already said before. We're going to try to develop win-win solutions. A person that's focusing on win-win also wants that other person to win just as much as you do. It's a give and take. Instead of just taking, that's a win-lose situation. We don't want those. We're going to talk about those again in another episode. And we don't want to act like those few people. We know who they are. They're insecure in the office. They're real paranoid. We don't want to act like that. We don't want to lower ourselves to that level. We're going to do our job. We're going to try to bring the best we can every day, and avoid and don't get brought into the drama of the insecure people. We're also going to want you to be organized. Leadership, strong leaders are also very well organized. They know their teams. They have their team ready, working on the most critical tasks in support of the organization. And finally, we also have to be able to achieve results and meet all of our deadlines, because we're not going to have any credibility if we can't get anything done, and we can't get anything done on time. Now, leadership is important because it's going to give you the opportunity to influence positive outcomes and positive change. This is why you should be investing yourself, and whatever way you feel comfortable doing, doing some self-assessment and figuring out what kind of skills that you need to work on. Because once you start to grow in your leadership, you're going to be able to empower others to be able to take on more responsibility and do more things. And that's going to free you up some time, so that, again, it goes back to being able to be supportive of the higher level folks in your organization. And I want you to, again, be able to see beyond your daily task list, and being able to support that long-term vision of the organization with some effective, ideas that support the overall strategy. So by improving yourself, I believe you're going to be able to set yourself apart. People are going to take notice. People in leadership positions are going to take notice that once you've been able to train and empower your team to take on some things without you and without having to micromanage them, having to come to you all the time, you'll be able to spend a lot more time on the levels above you instead of the levels below you. So that's going to be able to set you apart. You're going to be able to offer, fresh ideas and offer a lot more support in the long run. A few other ways that you'll be able to set yourself apart is that as leaders, we get to be able to think in the long term. So that means knowing what the long-term vision and strategy is of your organization, not only your department, but the organization as a whole. So you can start to see things. You can start spending time on this and start anticipating requirements instead of just, again, checking off items on a to-do list every day on tasks that you've been given. I've got 3 tasks given to me and my boss. And instead of just managing those tasks, I'm looking at other ways and other things. And that's going to be able to set me apart. We're going to have a vision, and our vision for our team is going to be supportive of the overall vision of the organization and of the department. The other way, again, that you can be able to set yourself apart and be able, as your leadership grows, is that you're going to be able to see the organization as a whole. You're going to be able to see not only what your team does, but the teams across the department and in other departments. If you work in accounting, you're going to see how FP&A works to support the organization. You're going to see how everything starts to work as a whole in support of whatever your profit drivers are in your organization. Because the just everyday complacent managers, they're only thinking about how their team fits in, and they don't invest the time and understand the long-term strategy and how the organization works as a whole. And that will be able to help you translate and talk about things with senior leaders, and you understand how all of the teams and departments kind of fit in together of getting this thing done and meeting our needs of the customers of our organization. This is going to help you vastly in the long run in understanding and seeing how everything works together instead of just, hey, what does my team do? It's going to grow you. You're going to see new things. Things are going to open up, and your eyes are going to open up, and as you start to talk to other people and understand, and then you can see how you can support better. And again, it's going to all come back to you're going to get some people are going to see that, and you're going to get some recognition around that. So you're also going to be able to see your team members not just as cogs in a wheel trying to just complete tasks every day. You're going to be able to see how important your people are, and how, again, not just doing those tasks, but how they're fitting into a bigger role and a bigger picture. And we're going to talk in the next episode of this podcast. We're going to talk about growing people, and we're going to actually be probably focusing a lot of episodes around growing people, because when you grow people, when you start seeing people differently instead of just a person completing a task, that person's going to grow. And then when your team member grows, it's going to help you to be able to do other things, and you're going to grow, and everyone around you is going to grow, and you start focusing on that. Leaders take risk. We may get the task done today with okay results, and that's what's going to happen when you start to empower. You're going to take a little bit of risk with your team members and having them complete a task without you watching and having to check every step. You're going to take a little bit of risk. They're going to get it done, and maybe, not at the highest level. Maybe something has to be reworked later, but they're going to get better. And it's going to have to be something inside you have to get comfortable with. It may take months, but I want you to take risk in that, to start giving tasks over to your team members. You don't have to check every step. You don't have to check every math result. And you just kind of have to apply that great judgment you have, that experience you have, and kind of it's good enough for now. And you're going to give great guidance and some good counsel to your team members on how to even get better. We want to get you out of that micromanaging role and free you up to do bigger and better things. So we need you to really take risk in that area. And when you give that feedback to your team members. We're not belittling them. We're approaching it from a growth mindset that we can make them better. Something that I want you to kind of look at as you're going forward, something that you probably are dealing with every month, of course, is monthly close. And it's often chaotic for a lot of organizations unless they've already gone through the drill and the hard exercise of getting their processes done right and sequenced properly. But I want you to start really paying attention and trying to get a couple of small wins, maybe even on your team, to kind of map out how each and every one of your team members fit into the monthly close process, because you may be able to get a couple of wins and figure out and start to do some analysis around that. And maybe we can maybe even make for now around the team, maybe make that just a little bit better. And then in the next month or two, once you start collaborating with your fellow managers and hey, how can we make this a lot better? How can we consolidate a couple of tasks? Can we eliminate something? Do we really need every process in this thing? Are we doing something that doesn't add any value? Can we eliminate something? Can we shorten the process? And maybe it's a system issue, and maybe it's something you're going to have to do in working with your fellow managers to kind of put together an analysis to say this system is just not working. There's too much cutting and pasting. There's too many manual steps in this, and maybe we need to start putting together a proposal to get a better system that we can produce more automated reports out of the system. Because that's really would be if your organization has the resources, has the money to be able to invest in a better system, so that you eliminate the continually need for this cutting and pasting. Because I know I've been there. I've done the cutting and pasting. And there's nothing more demoralizing to a finance and accounting professional by continually doing cutting and pasting from one report to the other without doing any really good analysis, using your strong analytical skills or your strong accounting skills to be able to deliver something great for the organization. And just doing cutting and pasting and that anybody can really do, it doesn't really make you feel good at the end of the day if you're just really just doing that. So another as far as leadership, another area that I really want you to start looking at, and maybe you can help you down the road and in the future, and you're doing some analysis. To be a better leader, we really must be more self-aware about our own actions, about our own beliefs, and how we approach a situation, how we resolve conflict, how do we praise a team member, how do we correct a team member for poor performance. We start to think how our attitude is and how we approach some of the challenging things in leadership. And you may not realize it, how your facial expressions or your words that you choose or how you approach something, how you look at somebody, may be affecting someone else's performance, or how you come into the office and how you greet people in the morning, or even when you arrive in the office. Are you timely? Are you being a great example of leadership? So what I want to do is, how are you affecting your team members? Are you affecting them positively? Are you affecting them negatively? And start to think about those kind of things. And that way you can make some, quick, easy wins over the next days and couple of weeks, and start to realize how you talk to people. Do you talk to people in a positive, uplifting way, or do you kind of look down upon people and you talk down to them, or you criticize excessively or in the wrong way? So really start to think about how you can influence your team better. And then we want to be able to, how do we view ourselves in relation to others, especially amongst our managers? Do we approach things with arrogance? Are we humble? Do we, sometimes in a meeting, we don't act very confident, or we act overconfident? All those things affect our ability to achieve results, our ability to influence positive outcomes on the team. So that's what I want you to do over the next couple of days, a couple of weeks, is to really start to look at how you affect others and how you respond and relate to others, especially your Definitely number one, your team members and how you treat them and how you react with them and how you interact with your peers, your other managers and your senior leaders, your facial expressions and reactions and how you respond to things. You respond to things in a positive way, a supportive way, and you have a great attitude about, if you get a new task and you're like, oh man, another task we got to get done. We're like, yeah, hey, we can get that done. We can get that done. We can kind of take a look at it this way, and we can kind of analyze it and kind of create some maybe a couple of courses of action, and maybe we can save some money, or we can grow the business in a particular way. Always look at those tasks or something that's coming at you as a great opportunity to great things. So in this episode, we talked about my vision for this platform and how I want to help you grow as a leader in the finance and accounting profession. I'm really excited about this opportunity to share things that I've dealt with, or things that I've seen, both in working in finance and accounting in the Army and finance and accounting in the corporate world, and really excited about being able to help you grow and talk with you and want you to become better leaders. So this is going to be a great opportunity for us to all grow together. We talked about how competitive that the office environment is, and you really need to kind of stand out and prove your leadership, and you'll be able to really set yourself apart by being, instead of just a daily checklist manager, you can be able to grow yourself as a leader. And we talked about why that leadership is important, and you need to be able to be investing in yourself. When you do that, you can be able to create that competitive advantage for you with senior leaders. And you're going to be able to find this episode and all the episodes going forward across the different podcast platforms like Apple Podcasts and Spotify and any other place that you'll be able to find podcast. Looking forward to working with you in the future. The next episode we're going to talk about is what leaders do. We're going to talk about what I believe are the 4 major activities that leaders do every day and how you can become effective. And if you do these kind of 4 things with some soft skills kind of rolled in there, and you're going to be able to really focus and really, again, set yourself apart, get yourself a good ability to launch forward in your career and grow yourself and grow your team. So we're going to do that in the next episode. Really excited to be able to share with you those four activities. Again, I hope you enjoyed the show. Please join our community on Facebook. Look for our Finance Leader Podcast Facebook group, and this is going to be our community to grow within the finance and accounting profession. Until next time, you can check out more resources at stephenmclean.com and sign up for my updates so that you don't miss an episode of the show. And now what I really want you to do is go lead your team. Go get some of those easy wins that I kind of helped you identify today. And then I'll see you next time. Thank you.